Hi INFJs, do you often get overlooked for those promotions at work or maybe not taken seriously? This is what I want to have a conversation around today, how INFJs, we often don't allow people to see our true worth, so we are constantly being overlooked for those promotions, even though we know we would do so well at them. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Trina, I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I created this channel with hopes of helping people like myself feel seen, heard, and understood, and I wanted somewhere where I could share resources. I also help INFJs and autistic INFJs heal their self-love through courses, coaching, and community so that we can thrive in a world that often feels like it wasn't built for us. So I hope you find my channel helpful. If you're returning, I'm so glad you came back. I'm grateful for all my viewers. I invite you to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate the support. Alrighty, I have experienced this firsthand for a number of years, being overlooked for promotions, being laughed at. I've had supervisors like laugh in my face when I finally worked up the courage to go and ask about promotions that I was more than qualified for. I've been called names by supervisors, just completely misunderstood. And I didn't realize that some of it, sadly enough, we do to ourselves because we don't allow people to see our true worth as an INFJ. INFJ, if you have an INFJ on your team, if you're not an INFJ and you're watching this and you have an INFJ on your team, value them. They are a great asset to your team. The thing with us is understanding that there are parts of our personality that will stop us from, I'm waving my paper around here, stop us from allowing people to see our true worth, our value, because we don't like the attention on ourselves. So number one would be our introverted nature. We're very quiet. We could be like the quietest one in the office. I know I was, and this will get us labeled as a non-team player, and people will just automatically think that we are not motivated, we're not engaged, anything like that. So we could be in a meeting and we're sitting there, we're listening, we're taking it all in because we're like sponges, right? But we need that time to go and process everything that we just heard. And what we do is, because we're introverted, we do this all inside. So we go off to our office or cubicle, wherever it may be, and we'll process all this information that we just took in and think about questions that were asked or whatever it may be. And we'll do this on our own. Whereas a lot of other people will mingle back and forth, or even in a meeting, they'll mingle back and forth with each other, brainstorming, and we're sitting there very quiet. A lot of people don't think we're engaged at all. Maybe we're not even in the room. We're physically there, but mentally we could be somewhere else. We are not. We are there, but our quiet nature makes this really hard for people to tell if we're there or not. So a good thing to remember is when you're in a meeting and people are giving feedback, if you can just, pipe up a little bit and say, this is great. Can I have some time to think about this? And I will come back with my contribution, whatever it may be. At least it lets them know that, yes, okay, she or he, they're engaged, they're thinking about it, they need time to think, that's okay. When you come back to your supervisor or whoever it is with your contribution, they're going to know that, okay, this is some value. So then next time they're going to know they need time to think, but they're going to come back with value. We often assume our value of work, our quality of work speaks for itself. So this makes us very hesitant to mention what we have accomplished or what it is that we're working on. We just assume people can see it. We don't need to point this out. We're all adults. We don't need to point it out. Remember, INFJ, not everybody notices things like us. We notice, we are super, super observant. We notice all sorts of things. We notice our neighbor down the hall, we notice their quality of work. We notice our other neighbor's quality of work. We notice that. Other people don't notice that unless it's like shown right to them. Keep that in mind. That was a huge one for me because I just assumed that because I got all my work done and it was done perfectly. There was very few flaws, if any, that they would notice that. They don't notice that. It's okay to share and allow your contributions to shine. That was really hard for me to say. Allow your contribution Allow your contributions to shine. Sorry, I don't edit my videos, so you got to go with this with all my oopses. Editing is like way too much. It's a sensory overload for me. If I had to edit videos, we wouldn't be having videos here on YouTube, just so you know. Anyway, back on topic. Allow your contributions to shine and support the whole team as a whole. So it's not just about you. It's not about bragging. It's about how you're supporting everybody so everybody can do their job at their best. Just keep that in mind, because that was a huge one for me. I just assumed they knew I did good work. Don't assume. People don't notice. We are naturally more focused on team success, more comfortable with lifting others up than drawing attention to ourselves. I don't know about you, but me, I do not like attention on me, especially in a work environment. So I would never like speak up and say, hey, look what I did. But one thing to keep in mind, because when I was thinking about this video, I did a little unpacking. I grew up with a belief, I don't know where I got this belief from, but I grew up with the belief that drawing attention to oneself was bad. It was like being a drama queen looking for attention. You do not draw attention to yourself. So when you do something good, you do not pipe up and say, hey, look what I did. I accomplished it, because that is like, oh, well, they're just looking for attention. And when I thought about it, and I thought back to when I worked in an office, when people would bring attention to a project that they were working on because they wanted an attaboy, like a pat on the old back, I remember thinking to myself, well, they're just looking for attention, just a big old drama queen there. But that's not true. That's not true at all. So if you relate to that belief growing up, because I know us INFJs, we tend to have a lot of similar beliefs that was instilled in us growing up. I need to unpack that one a little bit deeper to figure out where I got that belief from, because that matters to me if I want to reframe it. But just keep that in mind if that's what's coming up for you, because that was a huge one coming up for me, is that drawing attention to myself was bad. That's a drama queen, and we are not drama queens. That's what I was led to believe. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the impacts of being overlooked at work, because, well, I will get into it in a little bit. I'm also going to give you some mindset shifts on how to, present your work and how to get more comfortable with showing your contributions. But I want to talk about the impacts, because there are some serious impacts with being overlooked that we're probably experiencing. If you're relating to a lot of this video, you're probably experiencing a lot of this now. I did when I was working away from home. Stagnation and frustration. So we lack of career growth, and we feel like, what are we doing? We're banging our head against the wall. Is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this the right career for me? It's demotivating. So it takes all of our motivation away. But most importantly, it will make us start questioning our self-worth, questioning our identity, questioning our purpose, which is all huge for an INFJ, especially when we start questioning that self-worth. We don't want that to happen at all, because self-worth is a lot of work, and INFJs really struggle with lower self-worth to begin with. Being overlooked constantly at work, it contributes to our self-doubt, and I hate dealing with self-doubt. If you've dealt with self-doubt, it's horrible. It is really horrible when we start doubting ourselves and questioning, and we get pulled into the rumination and analysis paralysis, and we're questioning everything, and decisions are so hard when we're doubting ourselves. Every decision is so hard, right? That's when we'll start questioning if we're on the right career path. We question if there's something wrong with us. I've been there. I did that for years because I couldn't get anywhere in my career, no matter how good my work was, no matter how much I showed up, no matter how much I pushed myself. I stayed in the same spot for I want to say 16 years, 17 years. I didn't get promoted once. So I was questioning what was wrong with me, and it was just horrible when we're constantly bypassed for those promotions. And it leads to burnout when we're pushing ourselves and giving it our all, but not receiving the respect or encouragement or the rewards that we deserve. Not that we need a whole lot of recognition to keep us happy, but when it comes to a career, we need that recognition, because that's what's going to lead us to the promotions. When we're being recognized, that is what is going to lead us to our promotions, because our supervisors know what's going on. When I was doing my MBTI training, when I was becoming a practitioner, we did a little exercise on rewards in the career, and all the different personality types, how they like to be rewarded or recognized with their work. And of course, mine came up was I don't like any recognition. I'm fine with it, which is not a healthy way to be. But I was almost the only personality type that was like that. Every other personality type needed rewards, needed to be recognized for their work. They needed the, hey, you know what? That's a good job. Except me. That was really interesting. This is actually what really got me thinking about the work environment and how I was always overlooked for promotions. And I started unpacking all of that. And it led me to understanding how the INFJ mind works. And it was really cool. I just had to share that with you. It just popped into my head, and I had to share that with you that when I was doing that, I was the only personality type that didn't want any recognition at all. There was one other one. It was also an introverted one that was okay with like subtle recognition, not like a big party. Heaven forbid, I don't want a big party. That would be horrible. Have a party thrown for your recognition. Just a nice quiet promotion would be okay. So now I want to talk a little bit about mindset shifts for this. Because remember I said this doesn't come naturally for an INFJ at all. Self-advocacy. I can't say that word. When we want self-recognition, it doesn't come. It doesn't come normally, naturally for us. That's the word. Words are like hard for me today. My gosh. So I encourage you to view getting recognition for your work as a form of integrity and honesty instead of as bragging. Think of it as integrity and honesty, because those are generally, integrity and honesty are two values that INFJs really, really value. Most of us do. It will help when we speak up and we show what we have done. We don't have to make a big party over it, but it will help our managers make better decisions, and it will also build trust with our managers so that they know that we are good, we can handle these bigger projects, that we are motivated, that we are engaged with what it is that we're doing. We're not just taking up space in the office, because sometimes that's what it feels like they think about us. Recognition isn't selfish. It isn't about your ego at all. That was a big one for me. That's what I thought. It's about honoring the value you bring to your team. So we are not taking away from others. That's a huge worry for INFJs, that we're taking away from others. That's not what it is. We're not taking away from others, but we're adding to the team as a whole. So keep that in mind. Think of it like that. Instead of feeling that it's all about ego and we're bragging and it's taking away from other people's and we're in the spotlight. It's not. It's bringing more to the team so the team can do better as a whole. Now, here's the thing. Visibility is a skill that does not come naturally for an INFJ, which is a good thing. This is a good thing that it's a skill, because skills can be honed in on. They can be improved. We can work on them every day and get better and better and better at it. That's what skills are. It's things that you need to develop over time, right? So step by step, we can get better and better and better with this. Just keep in mind that if you go into work and you're going to share what project that you're working on and how well it's going, and it feels very uncomfortable for you and you're very scared that it's normal because it's not natural for us, and when it's not natural for us, when we're getting pushed out of our comfort zone, it feels weird. It feels scary, and we don't like that as an INFJ. So dip your toes out there. Just maybe go and mention a little bit to your boss of this is what you got going on, or share a win that you had with your project, or something small like that with your supervisor, step by step, and build up. And just allow. If it's feeling uncomfortable, allow it. Allow it to feel uncomfortable. It's probably going to move through your body in like 90 seconds, that feeling of uncomfortable, that feeling of fear, and it's going to move through and then it's going to go. It might come back, but it won't be as strong once you allow it to come move through. Once it comes back, it's not going to be as strong. That's going to move through quicker. And take action. Taking action will really help. So mention that, hey, yeah, I did this. This is what I did. You know, at team meetings, maybe at a quick check-in with your supervisor, whatever it may be. I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if it was helpful. Again, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and feel free to share it. The more times it's shared, the more INFJs we get to help. And that's what it's all about. Thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see you real soon with another video. Bye for now.